I feel that Andrew Garfield is an actor that is long overdue an Oscar. Will this be the film that gets him it? Breathe is the directorial debut of Andy Serkis, and it stars Andrew Garfield and Claire Foy. This is the inspiring true story of Robin and Diana Cavendish, whose lives take a dramatic turn when polio leaves Robin paralysed. Together, they refuse to give up and devote their lives to helping others with the disease. When I went to go see this, it included streamed interviews of the red carpet that had just taken place. Something I want to highlight is something that Andy Serkis said: "This is not a disability story, but a love story." I think that's very important to know going in, as I think a lot of people are expecting something else maybe from what they get. I think that really does come across. It's not just Robin's story, it's Robin and Diana's story. It's their story. This is a really inspiring story. They are given limitations, they choose to break those limitations. You feel joy when they feel joy, you feel despair when they feel despair. It's just such an incredible film. And I think that comes down to two things. The first is the direction from Andy Serkis. If I remember correctly in the interview beforehand, he said that Robin and Diana, they both used humor as a defense mechanism, and that really does come across in this film. I was actually not expecting to laugh at some of the things I did laugh at. It just let the film have this perfect tone. And the second thing is the acting. Andrew Garfield and Claire Foy are fantastic. Their chemistry together is perfect. And by the end of the film, you see the characters, not the actors. Andrew Garfield had to do a majority of the acting with his face and his voice. It really does look like the machine is breathing for him. You never see his chest move. It's just incredible. It's too early to say if he's going to win Best Actor for his performance, but I think he should definitely be nominated. It is quite early to say that, but it's just his performance, as I've said already, is just incredible. And I think Claire Foy also has an excellent chance of being nominated. She has some very emotional scenes, some very powerful scenes, and throughout the entire film you can really get a sense of Diana's devotion to her husband, and that's all down to her performance. Sound effects were also really good towards the beginning of the film when Robin has to use the respirator for the first time. You really just hear nothing but diegetic sound. You just hear the machine breathing for him. But as the film progresses, it gets slightly quieter because that's also the technology is improving as time goes on. But there's also a little bit of music that's added sometimes, and it's just less obvious. It's like as the film goes on, it gets less loud because it's meant to not really be as much of a burden as it once was. And I think they do that because it's meant to show it's no longer really a thing he wants to get rid of. It's the thing that's keeping him alive. It's kind of like they've gotten used to it, so they just don't hear it anymore. The pacing is slow, but I think that works well for the movie because by the end of it, you really feel for all the characters because you've been on this journey with them. There were a couple of things I would have liked to have seen slightly differently or just changed because they kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. The first is Tom Hollander's characters. He plays two twin brothers, and the entire time you can tell it is just one actor. I'm not sure if it's because I knew that going into the film. Maybe if you didn't know that going in, you wouldn't have been able to tell. But for me, I could see all the 1 second pauses. I could see all the slightly not properly inlined eye line when they're looking at each other. Maybe it's just because my brain knew it and I've actually made films like that in the past where there's two characters side by side which is the same actor. Maybe it's just I kind of wouldn't allow myself to see it. It's like the brain just knows something's not right here. And finally, some of the supporting characters you don't really know very well. A lot of them pop up again towards the end of the film. They've like been in the film throughout, but you don't remember who some of them are. Fair enough, it's not their story, and it's not a huge complaint by me. I'm just saying that some of the emotional connection you should have had towards the end for some really emotional scenes, it wasn't quite at that level, but that's just because you couldn't remember their past interactions. So overall, this is a great directorial debut for Andy Serkis. The music they use in this comes in at just the perfect points to really elevate the mood. And like I've said before, the acting was brilliant, and this story is just so remarkable, so inspirational, so moving in many places, and you really get a sense of adventure with this film. everyone involved, the cast, the crew, they should be really proud with what they did here. I would give Breathe an 8 out of 10. This really is just such an incredible and remarkable story, and I really hope this film gets the attention it deserves. So are you planning to see Breathe, or have you already seen it? What were your thoughts on it? Why not write them down in the comments below? Let's have a discussion. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you can see the next movie review that I put online. Until next time, see ya.